Hail, Internet! It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We are here to talk about Star Trek Discovery. Season 1, Episode 4. Here we go. Let me get the novel out. The butcher's knife cares not for the lamb's cry. They could have just called it Killing Sheep, but they didn't. They called it The Butcher's Knife Cares Not for the Lamb's Cry. I guess that must have been said somewhere. Was that one like a Klingon phrase they used?
Perhaps it could be. Yeah.
Okay, I missed it during the episode, but
Yes,
it sounds like a Klingon phrase.
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't said by like Michael or something.
Right. Right. Saru didn't throw that one off. My people run from things.
Wait, Tilly though.
Maybe Tilly in the new version that I'm predicting is going to happen. Although she didn't let on. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so here we go. Quick recap, and then I'm going to have Paul give his thoughts. So just as in case you have decided, hey, I'm not watching CBS All Access. I'm going to use the Dork Lords to learn how this series goes.
There you go.
Here's your recap.
Sure, like I would be really spoiled.
Yeah. All right. So basically, there's a couple different plot lines that all merge together. The main one being the ship has to get to Corvan 2, where all the dilithium crystals are being 40% of the Federation's dilithium crystals are mined. It's under attack from Klingons.
Yep.
No one's available. Well, if we use our spore drive, we can get there. Spore drive's not working. And then meanwhile, Michael figures out that the Terragrade, the giant molecular creature, the monster is actually really good at piloting the spore drive.
It's actually, a big puppy.
So they hook up the big puppy to the spore drive and show up, save the mining colony,
Yep.
and all is well in that regard.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Landry, who is he's not second in command, but is Lorca's
Yes.
underling in some.
Probably second, I would think.
Because I think Saru's the
no,
second.
sorry, you're right. Saru's the second.
So she's maybe a
So
third
more
or
like
something.
maybe the Worf, which is the
She's kind of right,
head of
security
security
officer,
officer,
probably. Yeah. She dies
Yes.
violently.
yes.
The puppy was not so friendly in that moment.
No. Well, if you shoot it.
Yeah, I know. We'll talk about that. Stupid, but she's dead. Stupid or not, she's dead. And then there's also the subplot, which is Vok, the Klingon, who. So there was Takovma was like the guy who originally started the uniting the clans.
Yes.
He got killed off by Michael.
Yeah.
Vok finds himself stranded on the remains of the Shenzhou.
Yes. Right.
He's been exiled, but his true love, kind of whatever.
Certainly something was going on.
What she says, shall we uncouple? You're like, oh, okay then.
I don't think anything is currently going on, especially when he was expressing. Sort of like, you didn't think I was so hot.
Yeah, right. So she kind of pulls a double cross on his deceivers and comes back to him.
Yes.
And so the two of them are, at least at the end, like they're in the ship together.
Yep.
And she's like, she gives this kind of really cryptic thing of like, I will send you to my people. They're like a tribe known as the Deceivers. And they will do terrible things to you, but you'll be cool in the end. She does something like, you'll have to sacrifice everything. So I don't know.
Oh, you know what? That wasn't especially. It didn't stand up to me when I first watched it. I wonder if that's where the whole changing Klingon.
I know. I thought the same thing. Maybe the sacrifice everything will mean like suddenly he'll look like a Star Trek original series Klingon.
Yes.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
A shaggy Vulcan.
Now then he'd have to start populating the world with, or maybe it's like a virus that spreads, or I don't know.
It might just be like their little group that takes over. Like, we're in charge now. All you other others Klingons, you have to chill out. We're the ones who were fighting everybody.
Yeah, so we could see that they changed their look.
The
anyway,
Deceivers.
So that's the general plot line. So what did you think of the episode, sir?
I liked it. It wasn't my favorite, but It did bother me when they killed was it Landry?
Landry. Killed her off really fast.
Really fast. I don't think and I don't think it had any resonance at all. I thought she was a fairly good character, even though you could argue, and I think I may have said before that I think, in some ways, her character was not sufficiently different from Michael, at least in how withdrawn and stoic she was.
Okay.
But they need to flesh her out. That's all. She's a perfectly great actress, and
yeah, it seemed like you could have accomplished the same goal. Because as you say, it wasn't really emotionally impactful. It was just like, oh, well, that was a dumb choice she made. Oh, she's dead? Oh, wow.
Yeah, why couldn't she just been wounded?
Right, exactly.
Although
I'm horribly wounded.
Great when he was slamming her around the thing. I was like, geez.
It was like Hulk and Loki.
Yeah, it was.
She got slammed around. Yeah, because she makes this choice to say, like, we don't have to understand this thing. We just have to go and kill it and take its claws so that we can turn it into armor or something, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
weaponize it, basically. Yeah. And so, even though there's a lot of evidence that phaser fire, for instance, has no effect on it or anything, she's like, I'll just put some gas on it and then, without checking, just open the door.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And I'll hit it with this phaser that I know for a fact won't kill it. Oh, great. No, it's a great idea. Dead.
Now, one of the criticisms I read about the episode was that they did not feel that they had sufficiently creative motivation for that urgency. And I don't agree with that. I think...
Lorca's force of personality has been, like, pushing her so she feels, like, desperate to...
Yes, and that he was, like, sort of like, this whole project has to mean something now. The other group was having some success, and then something bad happened, and we haven't been having that type of success, but we should. Why can't we?
They do. They even have a I'm always one to point out comedic beats. They have the comedic beat of, are you sure that this drive can work? Absolutely. Cut to, this will never work. So they did that beat. Which one? I chuckled. So, yeah, he puts the reputation of the ship at stake with the Federation to say, yep, we got this, we can do it, boom, and then has no idea that they can actually do it.
Yeah, one of the things, I guess, that was difficult for that is that it's certainly, they were juxtaposing all their efforts with this attack that you could imagine takes place in a short period of time, but it's not like attacks always take place in the short period of time. They're like, oh, we were able to hold them off for a while, or as they slowly,
the shields are
this barrier and this barrier or whatever.
Yeah, right.
So it, but that was certainly disorienting for me because it did kind of feel like, oh, after all that, after many days or how many hours, I guess it took for them to figure out.
I think.
Yeah, but it almost didn't seem like hours. It didn't, it seemed like they were still sort of figuring things out. Anyway, so I can understand that even though I still felt like there was enough, even though, again, I didn't think they needed to take her out to kill her, I think that was, I don't know.
You felt there was enough inciting incident. You felt there was enough motivation to get this thing going.
Yeah, even though, I felt like they should have just wounded her.
By the way, wounded. Really fast, so the distress call comes in, they play it for everybody, and then the Starfleet's like, the nearest ship is 84 hours away, and this place mines 40% of Starfleet's dilithium. 40%, and the nearest ship is basically not available. Like you're not gonna protect that planet a little better than that. I mean, like, wow, our only hope is this experimental drive that we've never actually used. We used once, and it was a horrible failure. Well, that's the only choice we've got to save this thing that's really, really vital for us. This is some bad planning on behalf of the Starfleet there. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, they probably could come up with some reasons if they wanted to, and they didn't want to. I mean, clearly they just had a big battle 6 months ago that cut down how many,
So how does he? So they eventually get it to work, obviously.
Yes.
And Lorca's plan is to draw them in, so they take a bunch of fire, and then he jettisons bombs and then takes off. Is that how that works? That's what it looked like. Like he was trailing.
It did look
things
like
behind
yeah.
him
It's like wait till they get close enough to me, and then I think that's what he did. I think he put some bombs and then just flew away or materialized away or whatever.
Because I thought maybe he was going to have them shoot each other or something. Like he was going to bamf and then
like another reason
crossfire
to get out of the way.
But
they were incurring damage all that time.
So it's a little weird on the drive itself. So the spore drive, whatever. It's interesting technology. It's almost magic. Almost. It's science. It's science. Okay. But
I mean, it's basically like we said, I think last week, that there's some guy that's like, "Hey, spores,"
So, but
as a TED talk.
What's interesting is, and maybe they're going somewhere with this, because it seems like this is going to be obviously this is a big issue in the show. This drive and this critter.
Yes, and we know that we don't hear about this technology.
Right, and they've now used it.
Yes.
In combat.
Yes.
So the Klingons saw this ship show up. Everybody died, and then they left.
Right.
So. It's active now. It's in the, they have a thing.
Part of their arsenal now.
So
at least they would expect it to be.
Something horrible's got to have it. So, but the key to the whole thing is this critter.
Yes.
That I don't know. It's kind of like I felt it was almost like a truffle sniffing pig. It's like it can. We attach to its brain and it knows how to make all these jumps because it's jumping to the spores. I know. Something like that.
Yeah, somehow it's involved with the spores.
Well, here's what was weird about it. So obviously, it's a fairly common Star Trek trope, which is, hey, don't just always shoot first.
Right.
We try to understand things.
Yep.
And sometimes through understanding, we can learn stuff. So that's kind of the message: is that Landry tries to just not understand it, and then she dies.
Yep.
And Michael's like, no, I think we can understand it. So. Basically, if we understand it and we learn about it, then we can torture it into working for us. And it's like, I'm not sure that's a great message. Like they hook it up to this thing, and it's like, yeah, and it's like complaining the whole time. You don't
think that's what the point of the show is? Because you saw the next episode. Right?
I saw the trailer for the next episode.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh, wait a minute, maybe this is bad to do. Because he's like, we're going to do this. Like, I don't know how much you can deal with this.
Yeah, I agree. So that's why I said I think there's a continuation.
Going. Yes.
But it's just funny
that's the point.
But the point usually in a Star Trek episode is we have choice A and choice B. I made choice B, which is theoretically the compassionate choice, but it's actually torture this creature until it works for us.
They're not saying that's compassionate.
Yeah. Well, but I think that's the implication. I think the implication is Michael is like, because that's a little weird. Michael goes back and forth between kill them all and let's examine the thing. I'm not sure that she has a lot of reason to think that critter is not hostile, for one thing, originally. Because the first time she saw it was chasing her.
Right, but she was saying, hey, it was being shot at and, blah. It was being killed. Because people didn't think that.
Well,
it was being held in this compartment or whatever.
Even that said, it's still being held, and it still would have every reason to hate. If it has any kind of thought process, it would hate all of them.
Right.
So just to open the gate and go, hey, we'll give you some food. You could still get totally hosed with that thing.
Right.
Whatever. Anyway, let's assume she had good reason. She does the little trick with Saru, where she brings him in and your ganglia are going off.
Yep.
Which
and she's like one of the things people have picked out is another assholey thing that she does, which is she pulls him in there and it seems like, let's just have a chat. I want to see if your ganglia goes off because of how dangerous he is, and it doesn't. And it's like, you could have told me, and it's like, well, that would have affected the test, basically, which is ridiculous. If it's an autonomic response, how is he going to control it?
Exactly. It's so true. It's true. So we've learned that the ganglia it's not him thinking, something bad, ganglia. It's the ganglia drop.
To let him know.
Instinctively.
Right.
It's an instinctive, shit.
Right.
And so it could have worked either way, but she still had to scare the crap out of him first. And I do wonder about those ganglia. I like it generally, but I'm thinking it's going to be another one of these plot devices, right? it's going to be like Troy, basically from Next Generation. It'll work whenever they need it to, and it won't work when they don't want it to.
Yeah.
You know, is there a threat? Oh, check it. Oh, okay, we're fine. Yeah. Oh, but you know what? It was clouding me with radiation, and so I didn't drop, but I should have done it. Whatever.
Yeah,
I feel like that's going to happen.
It's not and that's another scene which is, why it's not, I think it was kind of,
that scene where...
As a reason to, probably a bad, I didn't like
it shows
Troy
that
or whatever her name is.
Oh, yeah.
So...
She had the most ambiguous powers, maybe of anyone on any of the Star Trek shows. She could literally, in the starship, on the Enterprise, in orbit around a planet, detect whether there was life on the planet. Or, it's going to be standing right in front of her, and she's like, I have no idea. What does the story need? Okay, I'll do that.
Because she was, I guess, half human or something.
Yeah.
She didn't have the full Betazoid,
right.
So she couldn't read minds. She couldn't sense emotions.
By the way,
so it was sort of like, I think they're angry. The guns didn't tell us that. Thank you so much.
Put a Beta Z on every single starship ever. Then, I mean, if they're that powerful,
really.
You should have a friggin' legion of them hanging out. Anyway, all right, but we're off topic. But it just that the ganglia is kind of like the new. Hey, we can.
Yeah, hopefully,
this will be a plot
hopefully
device.
it's not a crutch.
Right.
Yeah.
So Michael is showing, in that moment especially, I guess, she's where she tricks her, and almost like she's got a bit of Lorca in her. Maybe they're trying to show that she's kind of like a win at all costs kind of person as well.
I think she's just trying to solve the problem, is what it is. Trying to detect, what the nature of the creature. I mean, that's what. Because she was being manipulated is why.
Right.
What is his name again? I forgot.
Saru
was irritated.
Yeah.
He was like, not,
He came back with that, you're going to fit just fine with Lorca. I don't know why people didn't think you'd be on this ship. Because you're just like him.
But I think you're thinking that she's like, clearly this is, good. We got something we can abuse to get this thing. And I don't think she's making that. I think
from the trailer we see in the next week where Saru's like, use it. And she's like, no, I don't think he's ready. I don't know how much he can take, whatever. So she sees it, but the fact is, they still did it, I guess. Yeah. She's like, we're going to have to torture this thing to do it. All right.
It's like, because Lorca does not seem like the person who, wait, I don't think I made sure you understood that it's bad for this creature. Because really, he would just say, and? It's like, no, I'm smart. I got that, and then I ignored it. I'm sorry that if you need me to actually say how callous I am.
If you're going to compare it, though, let's say to the Next Generation. If you had a situation where Picard is given that same set of circumstances where it's like, we have to abuse this life form in order to travel, be like, nope,
exactly.
We're not going to do it.
Right.
We're not going to get to Corvan 2.
Right.
And so it's interesting because it's a difference.
I think
this show's like, abuse that creature.
Yeah, so I think it begs the question again: is Lorca going to make it to the end of the season?
I feel like, as I mentioned, I think mutiny might be a. Yeah. I think she has to choose to mutiny the second time. That's her arc.
Who knows?
But okay, so we had that play. So okay, as much as I'm somewhat interested in, fleshing out the Klingon villain and stuff and the enemies. Every time they go back and they start talking and you start reading that dialogue, it's the momentum of the show just goes.
See, I like these Klingon scenes more, partly because that female Klingon had a different way of expressing herself than everybody else. Everybody else was,
it's so slow.
And she's more like, she's much lower than everybody else. So she's, I will talk there's softer than everyone else. And so
it's a tough thing. I mean, you've got two things working against those scenes. One, the slow, guttural talk that you don't understand.
Yes.
And the second thing is all the makeup means it's very tough to get to express yourself.
Yes.
So you don't have a lot of physical expression, and you can't understand the dialogue. It is a momentum killer, and I get it in some. I mean, I can appreciate they're like, we're doing the Klingon language.
Yeah, and there are people who,
at the expense of the momentum of the show, I would say, you've done it now. Cut to English.
Okay, well, I'm glad you said that, even though I don't agree.
Okay.
But I sense though that it'll probably rightfully be an unpopular position, because I would prefer them to sort of pick up the pace, just make them speak a little faster. But I like the fact that it's in another language. I think that's too old.
Other solution. Don't have them talk as much. They're not talking. They're doers. They're not talkers. So you shorten up whatever they're going to say into very nice little bits, and then you move on. Maybe I don't know if you want to keep it that way. Because they had like that. Their little flirtation session was pretty long while they're uncoupling.
Yes.
The coupler device.
Yes.
I mean, like they're talking. It's like da da da, and you're like, okay, important, good, but anyway. So I wasn't
bothered
thrilled.
Me as much as you, and partly because I don't like that device. I understand that people do it, and they used to do it in the original series, but that's the language that it's in.
Okay. Well, it's also the sense of like.
But yeah,
what was weird on this episode is
but
the rest of the show was about. It was very urgent. They had this timeline.
Yes.
Corpsman 2, in trouble.
Yep.
You got to do this thing.
Yep.
Made to jump into the sun.
Right.
Which, by the way, they got out of a sun. That's pretty good ship. I mean, the other Enterprises had trouble with that. The Enterprises. Anyway, but so then you would cut to the Klingon subplot, which really wasn't time sensitive so much.
No, definitely wasn't.
And so it was all about, well, we're dying, but not now.
Yeah, I maintain interest in that world, and I'm glad they're exploring it. I think it's necessary. And, maybe once we get to these deceivers, if we're right that they're basically human, they certainly won't be they won't be talking like that as much anymore.
Are you sure?
And then they might be like, hey, we got to get used to talking English since we're going to deceive people. Come on, we got to,
good call.
We got to get used to that.
So giving up everything to me does mean give up your Klingonness. I think you might be right. In some way.
Well, but also suggesting that it might alleviate some of the language difficulties, though.
Right.
I might not be right about
as a practical matter.
Yeah, it might not. They might not. They might say, no, we're still going to speak Klingonese to each other, even though now we look human, or more human.
So that's obviously where that's going. Is he's going to go through some kind of a trial where he gives up everything and becomes more of a leader in some ways.
Yeah.
I will say this. I always thought this kind of funny. So, there's another Klingon leader. I want to say his name is Call, maybe? Anyway. Yeah. Shows up, pretends to be on their side, then while they're away, like, gives food to the Vox men. Is like, I got him with food.
Yeah.
But so then, he's gonna basically kill Vox. Or he even tells the second in command. Yes. The second in command hands, I'm forgetting her name.
Me too.
Rahel? I don't know. Anyway, you can put it in the comments. So she's got the Shenzhou's ship thing, which Vox didn't want to assimilate. Basically,
yes,
he didn't want to take Federation tech because Takuma would have been totally against it. It's purity, but he's convinced. Oh, we're all going to die. Fine. So he takes the stuff, but she gives it to this other tribal leader, and then instead of killing Vox, she's like, I have a better idea. Okay. She's been on your side for 10 seconds? Less than a minute.
Yes.
And she's giving you advice. I would not take that advice, I would say. I would just say this. I would be like, that's nice of you to say. And still kill the guy that's like gonna be a problem for you later.
Well,
I mean, if you wanted to kill him ahead, I'm just saying.
You don't know that things are gonna be a problem for you later.
Yeah,
yes, it's a classic. It is. Let the villain, let the hero get away. It's the classic one. Oh wait, better not if he tortures and then suffocates and dies, thinking about a loser he is. Isn't that better?
Isn't that better? So she's successful because the guy is dumb and lets her off. But let's Vox off.
Let's Vox off, and she's like, while they're happily, yay! She sneaks away.
She sneaks away, and that's just the suggestion was she's going to have to sneak back because she's like, they're going to tell I'm gone soon.
Oh,
so I think she's
I missed
going to
that
help
part.
him get to her people.
And then
And
slip
then
back
and
on.
slip back on.
Clever.
So, because she's a deceiver.
Ooh.
And obviously his arc is one that right now he's kind of he's the heroic villain. And
Yes.
he's on the wreck of the Shenzhou, and he broke it, but he was looking at the hologram of Michael.
Yes.
And so I assume when they see each other, they will see each other again. And in fact, is he the one who, in the trailer for the next episode, captures Lorca?
Oh, I didn't notice
The
that.
Klingons capture Lorca.
Yes.
I don't know which ones.
Yes.
But anyway, somebody captures him.
Yes.
So the other thing we did see, another plot point was Michael gets Shenzhou's will.
Yes.
So it's this big case. She doesn't want to open it.
Yes.
It keeps reminding her to open it.
Yes.
And
There'll be a setting for that.
she,
I got it.
yeah, thank you. She finally opens it. It's there's a hologram from Michelle Yeoh,
Yes.
who
Clearly before she was betrayed.
very clearly, which you can imagine would have happened, right? Like,
Oh,
you're
sure.
going off
Yeah,
into
yeah,
space.
yeah.
If you die, here's your will and testament. So she does this thing where she's like, "You're great. You're probably gonna be a captain one day.
Yeah.
I trust you. You're awesome." Which is just like rubbing the salt in the wounds.
Yeah.
And then she gives her family's telescope. That's kind of you are an explorer. And it's a nice gesture. It's cool. I was good with it. What was I thinking about it though? That I thought, it's a little odd. I'm trying to remember. I guess it was anyway. She deals with it. She's dealing with the loss of her captain, and we see Michael, adapting to the crew a little bit more. She gets her outfit in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. Oh, the thing I was going to bring up is was that the tech guy whose buddy died?
Stamets.
Stamets, who I almost made too much of a point to show his. You are really smart, Michael, with this plan. It's just like, it's like perhaps too quickly there might be, and Tilly made a point of saying how everybody appreciated her. Well, partly appreciated her after she, saved them.
Right, saved them on the crew on the way mission.
But then also, I think she might have even said after, making that discovery, they might even be. But if she betrays them all by letting the animal free or whatever, maybe she'll be on the outs again. But they may be a little too quickly.
Yeah, you're right.
Forgiving her.
Right. She is the mutineer
Yes.
that, started this
Yes.
war, blah, 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 blah.
I hope not. I don't want it to too quickly. I mean, I think if they did, I'd still feel like we've seen more of a consequence to bad actions than we have in other Star Treks. So typically at the end they're like, well, because it worked out okay, we're not going to punish you.
Like when you see, like a lot of episodes, it seemed like every series had its version of everyone ages. And then somehow when they just put the red key in the blue slot, everyone goes back to normal. You're like, is that the way that works? You literally go right back to exactly where you were, and there's no consequence to that you aged to the point of death. Anyway, but yeah, there's certain episodes like that where you're like, okay, that's the way that works.
Yeah.
I assume at some point she's going to get the insignia, right? That's going to be a big moment where she now has a rank.
Right.
Like your rank is
That's
none.
right, yeah, now it's none. So that's, that's something we'll see, I guess. The other thing I wanted to bring up is you were going to say something about Tilly?
No, just that I thought they were a little more reserved with Tilly. It was not a Tilly episode. Really.
No, definitely not.
And so she, if my theory was correct from last week, where she's a plant, basically a spy, they didn't really play that up in this episode. She was just kind of genuinely nice, although she did bring the thing too.
Yeah,
she's like, this is this thing you'll need.
Yes. And that's why
you want to open it? It's from the will? Oh.
She was like, I didn't know. That's what it was. Obviously, I understand that would be difficult for you.
But if she was a spy, she might know. It was like, open that we want to see what's in here.
I want to bring you back to something you said before, which is why wouldn't you said like maybe she shouldn't be in Starfleet? Why shouldn't she be in Starfleet? Because he's annoying?
Yeah, she just comes off. She comes off like a. I guess it's not Starfleet as much as Star Trek. She seems like a character from the CW. She seems like she should be on like a rom-com.
So here's what I'm gonna say.
Or Saved by the Bell.
Say a name, a character from Star Trek, Reg Barkley.
I know, and Reg.
Aha! He was somebody who was socially awkward.
He was socially awkward.
And like the interesting thing about him was that nobody really notices him. He spends an inordinate amount of time on the holosuite and have all these adventures, but in actual work, he's not really much in anything until he's in a number of episodes. At one point.
I actually did think immediately of Reg Barkley.
Okay,
as a tie-in for this.
Well,
it's true.
So that's their Reg Barkley. What is your problem?
Okay. Well, then they're going to get ready for a bunch of episodes where Tilly's problems really affect the ship, then, because it seemed like his inability to communicate with people was pretty much the central focus of like 3 major episodes where bad things
I think
happened.
The whole point of his character was sort of like you shouldn't judge people by their exteriors. And the fact that he certainly knew that the subjects that he was interested in was why he was a part of Starfleet, just like Tilly. And the fact that he's socially awkward or whatever is just, Starfleet and Star Trek loves to be like, we accept people for who they are. People have many things to offer besides their emotional or social
I guess I also thought
aspects.
of it in terms of it doesn't seem like the kind of person Lorca would choose for his ship. Like if he has a choice of people to select for his ship, because he does, right? He went and got Michael specifically.
Right.
Like it seems like her personality would be like, yeah, no. I don't think you should be on my super spy ship.
Well,
but I'm not.
Well, because she blabs? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So she would tell secrets, even though we've seen a number of times. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Seems.
I hear you. I'm not. I don't know that I can defend that position.
Her personal feelings, not and here's a secret.
And it's only like I've only seen her talk for like 10 minutes total, maybe. So. I get it. I'm basing it on a very small sample size, so I can be wrong on
that. In your defense, perhaps you're still hurting. If we had a doll, maybe you could point to where it hurt you. From the character from Jessica Jones. Right?
Yeah.
Would you say it's similar? Similar, but
similar.
They're not depending as much in this series on her. Obliviousness to other people's feelings.
And what bothered me more about Jessica Jones.
Also, too, it's like points where it's like, it interferes with certain plot points where it's like, what? That's why she was there, so this plot point would happen?
Yeah. And what bothered me more about Jessica Jones, yes, the character was very annoying.
Yes.
Luckily, not a major character. But then when they brought that one major plot point in where she convinces everybody that Jessica's bad, it was like, what? Yeah. And so that was more of what I had a problem with, was this character is going to do that and somehow have power over Jessica. Anyway, so I don't know that that's necessarily one-to-one relationship.
So this show says here's someone that talks a lot, and the character says people are annoyed by that.
Yep.
And then
she's right.
Self-corrects. All
right. Yes.
She's like, I said too much. Too many words. She is able to temper herself.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Have more faith.
I'll just go with this. I'll go with the fact that she's very good at science.
Yes.
And that's why she got brought on the show.
Yes.
But if you were just doing a job interview with her, you'd be like, no, I don't think I'm going to put you on this ship. I just don't see. You know what I mean?
No.
She would be a horrible interview. The interview process, she would fail.
It's like, but apparently what she knows is very rare. So it's like, okay, we need someone who knows this thing. Well, bring in the 10 other people who know this stuff.
Exactly. We'll just go with that.
That's what it is.
We'll go with that. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
It's good.
I probably later on I need somebody who will sacrifice their life for a puppy. I know who I should pick. It's like he's the only character that we know that he's specifically chosen in a sort of weird way is Michael.
Is Michael.
That's all we know.
I think he's chosen a lot more than that. I mean, I feel
Well,
like
he has chosen it, but we don't know what qualities he's
Right.
chosen them for.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the only and the sort of the ship is very secretive and it does that, and so we know that that's what the difference about this ship than other ships. But you know, it's not. He's not uber powerful and uber knowledgeable. I mean,
Okay.
why would he? What
I don't know.
qualities does she have?
I think they're going with a little bit of that, though. I do. That's part of my reasoning for she's a spy.
Okay.
Is that he sees something in her, and he's using her as that kind of manipulative thing.
Wow.
But we'll see.
We'll
All
see.
right.
We'll
All
see.
right.
Maybe you're right.
I mean, he gets captured next episode. He could be dead by the end
Yeah.
of this time next week.
That's
We're
when
like,
she activates.
and he died.
Yeah, it's like, oh, where'd Tilly go? And like Tilly's in there. Blah, blah, blah. She didn't even say a word when she did it. Yeah,
She's actually Klingon. Oh my God! It was like
she's a deceiver.
she's the deceiver.
Ah.
Damn it! It all comes full circle.
It'd be so cool if that was true. You're like, we said it, didn't we?
High five! High five! Woo, we win! We win the internet. All right, so yeah, that is your episode 4.
Yes.
Oh, one last thing. I believe they're setting up for maybe a gay relationship between Stamets and the Doctor. Maybe they had a little flirtatious moment there where I thought, I wonder if they're an item.
Oh,
Anyway, I don't know.
interesting.
Just theory.
The
but-
Doctor is an actor that I think he was in My So-Called Life, I think.
So he's an actor of
The
note
Doctor.
of some kind.
I
Like
think. I'll have to
recurring
check
character.
that out now.
Anyway, just
and
a-
apologize next week if I was wrong.
Yeah. All right.
But I'm sorry
You
in advance.
you should be.
I was right. I'm sorry. I'm so smart.
Sorry, I'm so smart that Chili was a member of the Deceiver clan of the Klingons. So yeah, we are going to be back. We're going to try to do another one tomorrow where we talk about episode 1 of season 3 of Mr. Robot.
Oh yes.
Paul, way up on Mr. Robot. I'm binge watching it, catching up. But yeah, so we're going to be Mr. Roboting it.
Yep.
So if you want to stay up on all those we got a lot of episode things coming up. So subscribe if you wish. You'll get notifications. Feel free to make comments. We will make comments back. I'm still recovering from the U.S. men's soccer team losing in the World Cup yesterday. Did it show? Did it show? Was I able to overcome?
I didn't want to say, but clearly it's been affecting
okay.
the whole show.
Damn it. All right. Well, I have a week to get over it.
You do.
Or actually a day. Oops. Okay. Anyway, we'll be back with Mr. Robot. Bye, everybody.